It is exactly 6 p.m. in Yaoundé. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us for the first edition of our 6 p.m. news this week over Camdis Television. Let's begin with our bullet points. A wave or a new legislative move to revise Cameroon's electoral framework is now underway at the National Assembly, signaling potential changes to the governance of local councils. Lawmakers have tabled a bill to amend Section 170 of the 2012 Electoral Code, a provision that currently empowers the President of the Republic to extend the mandate of municipal councillors. A wave of anger and concern is sweeping across communities following brutal crimes in Yaoundé, particularly that involving a young schoolgirl Dibin Barga in Yaoundé. Citizens, civil society actors and public figures are raising their voices, demanding justice and stronger measures to safeguard children from violence. You have these stories and more in a bit. Thanks once more for joining us. We begin the news at the National Assembly, where it has taken a significant step in amending certain provisions of the 2012 Electoral Code. The bill, deemed admissible by the Chairman's Conference led by the House Speaker, Right Honorable Theodore Ndatuo, seeks to modify Section 170 of the Electoral Code, which authorizes the President of the Republic to extend the mandate of municipal councillors. Betrantita.
The development comes after a 15-month extension was previously granted, shifting the mandate of municipal councillors from February 25, 2025 to May 31, 2026. The government is now requesting a second extension, citing the need for more time to mobilize resources for the material and logistic organization of the pools. The proposed amendment seeks to grant the President of the Republic an unlimited time frame for extension. The bill was tabled in plenary by the House Speaker in the presence of the Minister Delegate at the Presidency of the Republic in charge of relations with Parliament, Francois Wakata Baovin, the Clerk of the House, Andre Noah Essien, and the Sitting Secretary, Honorable Celine Meduga. It will be examined by the Committee on Constitutional Law, defended by the Minister of Territorial Administration, Paul Atanganji, before general debate at the plenary. If voted in favor by the National Assembly, the bill will be ratified into law by the President of the Republic. This move has sparked debates with opposition parties expressing concerns that the extension may be a maneuver to exclude certain parties from participating in the election. The amendment is justified by the government as a means to lighten the electoral calendar, which includes 4 elections in 2025: legislative, municipal, presidential, and regional council elections. However, critics argue that this is an attempt to maintain the ruling party's grip on power. The National Assembly has taken a significant step in amending certain provisions of the 2012 Electoral Code. The bill, deemed admissible by the Chairman's Conference early this morning, led by the House Speaker, the Right Honorable Datu Theodore, seeks to modify Section 170 of the Electoral Code, which authorizes the President of the Republic to extend the mandate of municipal councillors for a period not exceeding 18 months.
We now take you over to the east region of the country, where the mayor of Mboma Council has produced and distributed free birth certificates to children in his council area. The event took place in the presence of the divisional officer of the Mboma subdivision and was heavily attended by the beneficiaries who expressed their joy. We have Promise Akante with the details.
A total of 5,400 citizens of the Mboma Council area in the East Region of Cameroon can henceforth have access to government services go to school, and even obtain national ID cards. This is thanks to the free production and distribution of birth certificates by the mayor of the locality, His Majesty Frederick Fudafuda, a gesture highly saluted by the divisional officer of Boma subdivision, Hamida Baba, who called on the beneficiaries to make good use of the precious document.
Les actes de naissance sont essentiels.
Birth certificates are essential to have access to public services, to education, to health, and to other fundamental rights, not forgetting the national ID card, a very essential document. Mr. Mayor, your engagement to serve the community and ameliorate the quality of life of the denizens of your community is exemplary. We thank you for your dedication.
Nous vous remercions pour votre dévouement.
Coming barely few days after the ordinary session of the Municipal Council dedicated to the examination and adoption of the administrative accounts of the mayor, the event in its third phase witnessed greater participation from the inhabitants. To the mayor, this means more people are in need and therefore the zeal to continue. We are at the third phase of the distribution of birth certificates, making a total of 5,400 persons who have received their documents. You know that's too much for a council area having more than 5,000 people without birth certificates. We are happy because we started and now people are fully engaged. We will continue with the same objective. Knowing that a birth certificate is the very first personal document an individual possesses through which they are identified, the beneficiaries could not hide their joy, expressing gratitude to the mayor. It first of all represents the education of our children, their culture, everything in the life of a child. So I say thank you to the mayor of Mboma, Lardam and Roboros. We are very happy to receive the birth certificates of our children. I am very happy because I had difficulties with the birth certificate of my children, but now I have them easily. I am happy with the mayor. I am glad because I obtained the birth certificate of my children for them to go to school without problems. With more people still without a precious document, the mayor's caravan is not stopping anytime soon.
The rape and assassination of 11-year-old Divine Barga by her classmate's father in the Nkwabang neighborhood has sparked widespread outrage and reactions from across the country. Cameroonian celebrities and public figures have joined calls for justice, urging collective responsibility and pressing the justice system to demonstrate firmness and accountability in handling the case. Promise Akante once more.
The story hit the internet like a horror movie. 11-year-old Divine Barga, a young girl, went to her classmate's house to do her homework in the Nkwabang neighborhood in Yaoundé. Her friend, a boy of the same age, was present while his father raped and killed her. People of all walks of life have been talking, calling the government out for justice to be done. Celebrities have also joined in the call, not only for the justice system to do its work, but on a deeper questioning of values transmitted in homes.
We often ask ourselves how a man becomes capable of this. But we must also ask, what kind of home, what kind of teaching, what kind of silence inside four walls produces a child who can stand sentinel at the door of his own father's evil and not run, not scream, not refuse? That boy did not arrive at that moment by accident. He was shaped by what he had seen, by what had been modeled for him, by what he had been taught in ways spoken and unspoken about power and about girls and about what men are permitted to do. This is not only one man's crime. This is what a household built on the wrong values looks like when it finally shows its face.
The Cameroonian society was well known for hospitality and community life, where one person's pain or joy was shared with the entire community. Child discipline was a community project, but things have changed. Kuo Beta Elonge, popularly known by his artistic name as Auntie Felicia, decries this and says this has to stop.
While Divine cried out for help, the people physically closest to her chose silence. She screamed, they heard, they did not come. What if that child was yours? We have built communities where minding our business has become more important than protecting our children. That has to stop. A child crying is never background noise. It is a call. And we're all responsible for answering it. The next time something feels wrong, say something, do something, knock on the door, call for help, because the cost of your silence may be someone's daughter.
From the many social media posts, culprits have been sanctioned, like the teacher whose demeaning comment on Facebook was captured and reshared until it reached his school authorities, who then fired him, and the school tendered a public apology to the parents and public. Justice can be obtained through collective actions.
Because Divin's story cannot end in a courtroom. It has to end in a conversation in every home, in every school, in every community across Cameroon. Let's demand justice, a full public, transparent trial, no settlements, no silence, no impunity. Mwandambe Rick must face the full weight of the law, and the Cameroonian state must treat the safety of the girl child as the national emergency that it is.
The unfortunate incident serves as a reminder to all parents to talk to their children regularly. Tell them their bodies belong to them. Tell them no adult has the right to touch them, and tell them that if anything happens, you will believe them. And even though it may sound difficult to parents, please know where your children are and who they are with. Not necessarily to cage them, but to protect them. The Cameroonian people demand justice for 11-year-old Divine Barga.
China for Education, a program aimed at encouraging young Cameroonian students to study in China, has launched a scholarship initiative in Yaoundé during a conference held this Monday, March 30, 2026. It has announced its partnership with several Chinese universities to secure bachelor's, master's, and PhD for Cameroonian youth. Melanie Bo and Elise Yanda.
China for Education is a scholarship program aimed at encouraging young Cameroonian students to study in China.
China for Education has worked with many universities in China. Actually, we can guarantee more than 100 scholarships. We are ready. We offer scholarships for Cameroonian students who want to travel to China.
The initiative is designed to open practical road to bachelor's, master's, and PhD students, and to frame overseas training as a direct investment in Cameroon's future.
Our vision is to encourage our young brothers and sisters willing to go out for studies to come back and to build a better Cameroon. We want to have our own Cameroonians building roads. We want to have our own Cameroonians creating funds. We want to have our own Cameroonians being the best ophthalmologists or doctors we can have in the country. So that is the aim. We don't want to take all our young people that have the opportunity and the willingness to study and have the knowledge. We want to come now to prepare the younger ones behind them to be just like them.
In a roundtable discussion, organizers walk students through the value of international study and mentorship that can translate into jobs back home.
I am actually seeing myself studying in China also because of all the facilities that have been put in place by China's education first of all, and also due to all the opportunities that China brings out to the world.
The program have partnered with several China universities for qualified Cameroonians applicants.
We can guarantee throughout our partners in China that all their processing documents to travel to China and follow up their study will be done in a successful way.
With guidance and mentorship meant to turn international training into skills, Cameroon can use positioning overseas study as an investment in the country's future rather than a distant dream.
We are still talking education, where the pupil and teachers of Happy Elite English Nursery and Primary School have displayed their know-how in various domains to parents, guardians at the school premises in Olundum, one neighborhood in Yaoundé. This was during the Open Door Day organized by the school recently, where the children displayed their creativity. We have Edi Zhang and Promise Akante.
This is the hard disk. It is the main storage device of the computer system. It installs all computer software like Microsoft Windows, Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, and Microsoft PowerPoint. We can also install documents, video files, music, and pictures into the hard disk drive.
Don't be surprised. This is a primary 5 pupil of Happy Elite English Nursery and Primary School Elumdem in Yaoundé from the ICT Club. This was one of the many breathtaking presentations during the Open Door Day held in the school recently. Showcasing their technological, scientific and artistic know-how, the pupils presented various products ranging from a remote-controlled car, handmade jewelry, old car tires recycled to decorative items, and lots more. Training the pupils to be solution providers, the clubs produce solutions to water and electricity problems plaguing our country.
Our aim is to supply like 10 of these in Elumdem, because Elumdem is very, very vast. And with this, we will solve the problem of limited water supply in our community.
Artificial intelligence, robotics and everything IT are the new minds in this fast-paced world, and the management of Happy Elite English Nursery and Primary School Elumdem has understood this, reasons why the pupils are given the opportunity to excel. The automatic gate, entirely constructed by the pupil, is here explained by the head teacher.
Whenever a human or an object goes 20 centimeters close to the gate, it opens automatically, and once you get inside, it closes. From inside, if you are to move out, you just press a button and the gate opens. Then can you step out of the gate? We are engineers of Happy Elite. Realizing this project, our aim and goal is to make sure we sell projects like this in our country, Cameroon. One of those days where we will go out of Africa to take engineers to come and install systems like this in our country.
The children are also being taught entrepreneurship through their farms and aquaculture.
Imagine having a child who is doing harvest twice a year. A kilogram of catfish is 3,000 grams. We always have carrots, cabbages, and lettuce. For the past 3 years, the children have always had a very good harvest from here. And they know, to them, everything that concerns agriculture must be successful. But this year, it failed them. To an extent, it failed them. And we are using it as a challenge to make the children know that moments of disappointments in business.
To the pupils, it is total satisfaction to be able to showcase their talents.
I belong to the engineering club. An automatic gate with a duplex. I'm from the engineering club. We produce a car with a remote.
The 4th edition of the Open Door Day at Happy Elite English Nursery and Primary School Elumdem in Yaoundé has thus gone down the pages of history. To the head teacher, it is a message to education stakeholders in the country.
We are doing all of these activities because we want to change the educational system of Cameroon. Our government speaks of creative minds. Our government speaks of technology, and if we want to really grow technologically, we need to introduce all of that at the level of our primary schools. And that is why you see we introduce robotics at the level of our primary, from primary 2 to primary 6. We introduce agriculture, we introduce entrepreneurship in our school.
Expectantly, the 5th edition shall present more innovations.
From Monday, we are coming up.
And if you are just joining us, it is the 6 p.m. news over Camdis Television. Let's now take a tour out of the country to get updates of what make news. First up in Nigeria, where fuel prices have jumped sharply by 65%, straining households and businesses. This comes amid ongoing conflict in the Middle East of the country. You have this story and more in the following part. Nigeria is grappling with a sharp rise in fuel prices, which have increased by about 65% despite the commissioning of the Dangote refinery, initially expected to cut imports and stabilize costs. The country continues to depend heavily on foreign crude as a significant share of its oil production is committed to debt repayments to international lenders and energy firms, while the ongoing conflict in the Middle East has further disrupted global supply chains and driven oil prices above $100,000 per barrel. The surge has led to higher transport and food costs, increased business expenses, and greater hardship for households that rely on fuel-powered generators due to unreliable electricity, with the government maintaining its decision not to restore fuel subsidies and instead focusing on long-term economic reforms and targeted relief measures. Economic Community of West African States has confirmed that former Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo will lead its mission to observe Benin's presidential election scheduled for April 12, 2026, which will determine the successor to incumbent Patrice Talon, who is constitutionally barred from seeking a third term. His adherence to the term limit has been viewed as a positive signal for democratic stability in a region affected by a recent coup, while his preferred candidate Ramoud Wadagni is considered the front-runner after the main opposition contender was disqualified, with observers tasked to monitor the conduct and fairness of the polls to ensure they meet international standards. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our 6 p.m. news over Camdis Television. It was a pleasure staying with you. Do stay tuned to upcoming programs over Camdis Television. Thanks for watching.